Despite 2020 being what it is, festivals and festive season always rings in optimism, cheer, and love. It dispels darkness and gloom, filling it up with the warmth of memories of happier times and ushering in the company of our loved ones. Perfect time to cherish, celebrate, and reiterate our love to our beloved. So, in our bi weekly book reading, I will be reciting two of my favorite poems from E. Cummings. I carry your heart with me, and you're my sun, my moon, and all my stars. Such a glowing affirmation of unswerving love, a perfect description of the beloved who, not just in the initial flush of love, but remains our world for a lifetime. Rekindling faith in one of the strongest of human emotions, love. These two poems by Cummings would certainly strike a chord in hearts of your beloved, making him or her take note of the depth of your feeling. I begin with You're my sun, my moon, and all my stars. You're my sun, my moon, and all my stars. Silently, if out of not knowable night's utmost nothing, wanders a little guess, only which is this world, more of my life does not leave than with the mystery your smile sings, or if, spiraling as luminous, they climb oblivious, voices who are dreams, less into heaven, certainly earth swims, than each my deeper depth becomes your kiss, losing through you what seemed myself. I find selves unimaginably mine, beyond sorrow's own joys and hoping's very fears. Yours is the light by which my spirit spawn. Yours is the darkness of my soul's return. You are my sun, my moon, and all my stars. Cummings. I would like to especially thank my subscriber who reminded me and urged me to read this poem last time. Thank you. This second poem, I Carry Your Heart with Me, would never fail to swoon and serenade your beloved. After all, who wouldn't be moved by the thought that he or she is an intrinsic part of your very being, an extension of yourself, and that you hold your special one and you take them along in your heart wherever you go in a forever togetherness? Celebrating this thought, E. Cummings' second poem, I Carry Your Heart with Me, written in 1952. I Carry Your Heart with Me by E. Cummings. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done by me is only your doing, my darling. I fear no fate. You are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for beautiful you are my world, my true. And it's you who are whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever a sun will always sing is you. Here is the deepest secret nobody knows. Here is the root of the root and the bud of the bud, and the sky of the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope or mind can hide. And this is the wonder that keeps the stars apart. I carry your heart, I carry it in my heart. Beautiful, unique sonnet with 15 lines by E. Cummings. Try reciting either of these two poems or both to your beloved and do share what you felt and experienced in the comment section. In the next segment, Paul Jameson, the author of Nightjar and 76 and the Odd 93, is back for a book reading as he had promised. He is reading a section from his very popular short story, Magpie. My sincere thanks to Paul for taking the time off to do this, especially during Christmas. I will now leave you to the second segment with Paul Jameson's reading of Magpie, as well as with images from his lovely garden shed, his repose and workplace, from where he pens such wonderful pieces. But before we move into this segment, a Merry Christmas to each one of you, and do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm urging each one of my subscribers yet again, each one of you, please get one more so that we can continue such literary engagements. Ahoy, until next week, where I will be back with yet another talented writer. And take care. Merry Christmas.
Hi, Paul here for the Writers' Talks. Now, I promised Asher I'd do a reading of Magpie, and I will. It's a short story I wrote. Probably the story that gave me my voice, or where I discovered my voice, which a lot of writers talk about. So here I am in the shed. I only have a copy on the computer, so I'm sitting where I write at the moment. Have my coffee, and weird writer things like an hourglass. I mean, it does a re-swivel. Quite a clever little thing. And some of you might recognise this. Spyglass. Features in a story I wrote. It's Christmas Eve, so happy Christmas. And what I'll do is I will make Magpie free to be downloaded on Kindle through Amazon for 5 days to go in with the reading. So if you want to help yourself to the whole story, you can. Okay, now I shall read, and here's hoping it goes okay. It's a rather chilly day. Magpie, a wee tale inspired by a real place and echoes of the past. 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl and 4 for a boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, and 7 for a secret ne'er to be told. Magpie's song. Magpie sings. It's a sad song, lilting, beautiful and full of regret. It speaks of a girl and a man, the only man the girl has ever loved. She did not know him, but he came to her in the night, out of the dark, cold and wet from the rain outside. He was a stranger to her, but known, his jaw strong with blue-black hair, and skin so white it was untouched by the sun, unblemished. He seemed only ever to have been bathed in the softest moonlight, and she stroked him gently. He sang to her this song. His voice was soft, gentle and soothing like a warm summer breeze, but sad too. She sighed, gazed into eyes so grey and was lost. She thought she might drown, and held him as he held her, so close. She loved him as he loved her, Magpie's mother. Love. For one night they lay, so fleeting she thought it a dream, and yet so too did it last forever, an eternity in the mind and the most precious of her memories. In that sweetest of moments he made of her a woman, stealing the most valued thing she had, her young heart, and then he was gone. But he left her a present, a gift. He left her Magpie. It's a girl, Sister Lilith smiles, pushing through the curtains that surround the bed. In her arms she cradles a bundle of swaddling, blue eyes gazing on its contents in a mix of disbelief and wonder. A tiny wee girl! Lilith looks up at the sisters who stand waiting. All wear the white robes of faith, and she's beautiful. The softest murmur of excitement and pleasure ripples through the gathered women, held in check only by the stern voice of Sister Tabitha, the Mother Superior. She asks that question they all fear. And the mother? The bright spark in Sister Lilith dims. No, she was too weak, too cold. Tabitha nods. It's no more than she expected. The girl had been brought to the house with death on her shoulder, found in the woods by the Try brothers. No doubt they'd been up to no good, poaching or the like, when they stumbled on the poor girl huddled up against a tree. She was not of these parts, freezing to death in the deep snow, despite the expensive weave of her cloak. She might have been pretty too, but when the older Try brother carried her small form in through the doors, she was filthy, half-starved and heavily pregnant. And so it was the Sisters of the Morrow did their best to save her life, and that of the unborn child. It seems they had failed her, but not the baby. Quick then, the Mother Superior orders, clapping her hands and refusing to dwell on the lost. There will be time for that later. We need a wet nurse. Agnes Withers! It is Sister Nancy who makes a suggestion. Agnes Withers, a local girl, wife of the miller and of good stock, with a baby already on the breast. Yes, Tabitha agrees. Go, Nancy, and find her. Sister Nancy nods and rushes from the room. And be careful, the Mother Superior shouts after her. Take one of the brothers with you. But the girl is already gone. And the baby? It is Sister Lilith who whispers the question, and so Tabitha turns to her, smiles. Surely a miracle. Now bring her to me. Sister Lilith moves close, holds her arms up for the older woman to better see the tiny bundle as the others crowd in about them. They peer down at the naked newborn, and for a moment it is as if the world holds its breath. "She's beautiful," Tabitha whispers. "Yes," Lilith agrees. "Beautiful." "And what is that she holds in her fist?" one of the sisters asks. "A necklace," Lilith grins, unable to take her eyes off the beautiful baby. It was about her mother's neck, but the child's grip is strong. "The mother held her?" "Yes." "That is good," Tabitha nods. "That is good." "And what is it on the pendant?" "A bird," Lilith frowns. "Black and white like a magpie." "It's a lucky bird," Sister Lucy whispers. She's a small woman, middle-aged and mouse-like, as she stands on tiptoe to better see the child. With wide eyes she peers in wonder over Lilith's protective arms. "Then that is what we shall call her," Tabitha smiles. She uses a finger to play gently with the child's clenched fist, turns the strange pendant and necklace over to better see the charm. "We will name her as we find her, Magpie." And so the child comes by a name. "But I don't want you to go to the house." "I have to." In the room beyond there's a scrape of a chair on the wooden floor. It's the Sister Nancy, youngest of the Holy Order, and she fidgets. Agnes Withers looks up at her husband, who sits on the bed and watches her pack. He's older than she is, grey, thin and stretched by years of hard living, but she loves him. He's kind and gentle and the father of their child, much different to the men she has known before. She smiles sadly up at him. "I know," he hisses, "but I don't have to like it." "No," she agrees, "you don't." The sisters own Cock in Hatley, the lands granted by right of occupation after the long regret. They own her husband's mill, a small brewery and the baker's and butcher's lodgings, a blacksmith's forge, and a collection of old cottages and rough lean-tos where the people live in the hollow. 15 families in all. And then, beyond the hollow, they own the narrow tracts of farmland that support the hamlet, the holy church and the ominous dark tower that gazes out over Potham Woods. In truth, the miller dare not question the sister's demand for his wife's tit. Life is too precious. "And you will take the baby?" Agnes nods. He speaks of Sillet, their son, barely a month old. "Yes," he grunts. "Perhaps it's a good thing then." She knows of what he speaks. Sillet is born with problems. He is ugly and crippled, left foot twisted cruelly in on itself, and a palate so deformed he is cursed with an evil smile. When her husband first saw their son, he wanted him taken to the woods, there to be left to the trees, but Agnes would not have it. Her son was tall of frame, big and strong but for his deformities. She felt sure he would survive, thrive even. Her husband listened, and for that she was grateful, but it seemed now he feared the boy. The miller was yet unable to gaze on his son's face, glancing nervously at a monster. Agnes prayed it would not last. "Yes," he whispers, thinking on it, "it would be better for him." She nods. "Perhaps." The sisters and villagers of Cock in Hatley seek news of the dead girl, the mother of Magpie. Men walk out east and west, travelling beyond Sandy and the Great North Road in the west, and coming close to Cam in the east. To the north they make Hunterston, and far to the south the brothers travel to within sight of the broken towers. It is there the dying live next to the river. The men question all they meet on the road, farmers, holy, vagabonds and merchants. Even the mad living wild in the woods. It seems no one searches for the girl. She is unknown, has no family. And so the sisters tend to her needs. They strip the girl naked, gently wash her face and soap her thin body. Her skin is soft and white, unblemished. It seems she knows nothing of manual labour, and the gathered women wonder at how this can be. How did she live? More so, they gasp as they comb out and wash her hair. It is soft, long to the waist, and strangely silver in colour. None there have seen anything like it before. "Is she of this world?" a wide-eyed Nancy whispers in awe. "Hush, child," Tabitha snaps. "Would you anger the trees?" Nancy falls silent, ducking her head as colour rushes to her cheeks, but the Mother Superior knows what she means. The girl is unknown, and a pregnant woman is a valuable thing. How can something so precious and beautiful go so unnoticed? It makes no sense. Tabitha pushes a thought to the back of her mind. Instead, she supervises a slow dressing of the shroud, watching on as the body is carefully wrapped, dark binding pinned to the chest where the girl's hands will be left free to release it. Only the child's face do they leave uncovered, open to the air so that she can breathe in the life that will one day return. And then she is ready. When do we bury her? Tonight. And they do. In the dark they lay her to rest. Snow and wind whip about the procession of sisters as they walk from the house to the hollow, to the church of St. John the Baptist. At their head they carry a burning cross to light the way over the rough ground. With them are the two tri-brothers, walking at the centre and carrying the girl's tiny body cradled in a coarse blanket between them. Her dead eyes they have covered with painted coins of iron to stave off evil and pay the old boatman his tithe for passage. Then follow Agnes Withers with Sillet and the sister Lilith, the tiny Magpie wrapped up in warm blankets and carried in the holy woman's arms. Solemnly they make their way to the southernmost corner of the graveyard, to where an ancient holly grows by a pond. Tabitha gathers them all together beneath tiny red berries that glisten as droplets of blood in the fiery night, and there, in the snow, they lower the dead girl into a shallow grave, scooped out of frozen ground. It is unmarked, but for the holly and the tiny babe, Magpie whimpers as if she knows what is happening. "Hush, child," Lilith soothes, swaying to an imaginary lullaby. "Hush now." The Mother Superior leads them in a rite of passage, voices uttering in a soft chant that comforts the babe and offers prayer to the spirits that will come for her mother. She keeps it brief. It is too cold for anything more. And then they watch as the body is covered over with dirt and stone, ice and snow. Here the girl unknown will sleep eternal, Magpie's mother. It is done. The sisters fade away, ghosts in the snow and on the wind. There. 12 minutes. I hope that's long enough, Asher. Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy New Year, and stay safe in these strange times. We've now become a secluded island, shall we say, and the best be with you all. Bye bye.